guys, welcome back to the layout. Last time I've done a layout update, it's been about a year. I've had a lot of requests to have one done over the last 12 months, and kept meaning to get it done and kept putting it off, so I've got a bunch of stuff to go over. I figured this would be a good time to do it. Last time we looked at it, we just had this section here done. Pretty much just had a circular track going around it and a couple of switches. As you can see, it's not much here has changed other than a lot of track has been added to it. But since then, the back wall and that whole section there has been completed, and a little bit more in the far back. And I'm going to go over a few still shots now, some pictures I've taken over the construction of the layout to give you an idea of what I've done, and then we'll go over what everything is. Alright, this is a room that's in the lower level of my house. It's roughly 30 feet long by about 14 feet wide, minus this little area right here. It's going to be a two-tier train set at the bottom level, as you see, and these 2x4s are the supports for the upper level. That goes all the way around. There will be a helix there in the corner, and I'll have backdrops on either side of these between the levels to distinguish different parts of the country that'll be modeling. Overall, what I'm modeling is BNSF lines. There'll be some Chicago Metro and Amtrak that comes out of here in Chicago and operates the lower level, and the upper level will be the Canadian National coming up through northern Wisconsin and all the way up to International Falls, Minnesota, going into Ontario, Canada, and that'll primarily operate the upper level. The construction of the layout is 2x4s, roughly put together 69 centers, very much the same construction as the walls in your house. Legs are braced. There's some 2x3s bracing those, and there's a couple of 1xs here and there as needed. The plywood is 1/2 inch thick, and again there's some 1xs extending the climb, which I'll show you in a little bit. Okay, this section here looks a little different, but what it is a 4x8 sheet of plywood with a 4x8 sheet of plywood on top of it. I just have it loosely braced at the moment, and I'll put some more permanent bracing in it later, and I'll leave these open as much as I can to have windows so I can service the track and view it and fix any derailments as needed. But up underneath there's a track, and this track loops around all the way in the back and then out towards there, and then there's some staging. I plan to have a bit more staging in here as I acquire more track. And it all comes in and out over here. And what this is going to be is Union Station, Chicago. And if you've been to Chicago and you've been to Union Station, the trains enter and exit actually underneath the station, underneath the roadways. So on the top here I'll have the Walther's Union Station kit, most likely paving some roads, and I'll have to come up with some interesting ways of doing backdrops and any skyscrapers that I can have up on that platform there. But this also somewhat hides that there's a loop in here. I mean, from here it looks like there's tracks going into the station, but this track here, this first one and this last one here, is really the looping track, and it hides that it's a loop a little bit, which adds a little more realism to it because there's no loops there in Chicago. This next section here is 2 foot by 8 foot, and this curves around here. There's a crossover. There's going to be a few more crossovers here, and as this comes around, this leads into the original bench work, and this will be, I believe it's the Clyde Yard in Cicero, Illinois, leading into Berwyn, Illinois, which is an area I grew up in and I know pretty well. The track configuration isn't going to be anywhere near the size of that yard or quite the configuration, but I'm doing as best I can, giving it this 3-track main line that goes ripping through it. I'm going to do that 3-track main line all the way in and around the bend there, with track on both sides. I've looked at a map at the yard there in Cicero, and I believe its widest spot's 50 or 52 tracks long. I'm not sure how many exactly I'll fit in here, but this gives me a pretty good idea. These are some of my SD70 Max by Cotto. This is my SD70 ACE, which is back on the workbench. I accidentally pulled out one of the little wires that go to the ditch lat, so I have a few more on order. I'll get that fixed and get that rolling again. But this is all Digitrax decoders in here, and with the use of the Digitrax PR3, I've done my own custom sound projects and have all those in there. This is the Walther's Diesel House. I picked up for someone for I think $30 or $35. It needs a little work to get it back in order, but I believe all the pieces are there, and I'll be able to clean it up and get it going again. Another recent purchase was this guy I got yesterday at my local train hobby store. I picked this up for a really, really good price for $50, which I was really happy about. It's the Author and Collector series. The story I was given was that Walther's made all these very nice Amtrak cars and didn't have a locomotive to go with them, so they were able to get with Author, and that was the locomotive that goes with the set. If you look at the packaging, it says to be distributed with for Walther's there in the fine print, if you can read that. So that was kind of neat. I've seen a lot of these go for 100, 120 bucks on eBay. To go for 50 bucks I thought was a pretty good score. But before I forget, there's a few F units. There's 2 here, there's 2 up there someone sent me. I'm adding the headlight and Mars light like I did with my other, not my other, but the other Chicago Northwestern one I did in a few videos back. So there'll be an ABBA set when I'm done. Probably be lettered A, B, C, D. So when I come around here, three-track main line comes around. The Atlas Gen set got a new speaker in it, so it sounds a lot louder now than when I made the video for that. This is another, actually this was a gift I got from Christmas. This has the QSI sound recorder in it. It sounds wonderful. I'll probably patch it up to be BNSF and work at one of the yards. When we come around here, this will be a 3-track. There's a crossover here. I'll have a reversing loop, and the 3rd track will connect right up in here. This part here I left out. I showed you in my other videos, so I can cut this out and drop this down to whatever depth I like. I have a bridge. As soon as I get hands on it here. I've got this cornerstone bridge. This was, oh, what do you want to say? Either a donation or a payment for some work I did for another YouTuber. I was pretty happy with it because I was in the market for one and he happened to have one, so that worked out pretty good. Now the main line comes over here. I do have a couple of station platforms. The cars are pretty much here for the kids to play with. And as you come down here, I also left another area where I can drop down and and put a bridge in or put a drainage ditch or something in here, and I still may do that. But it splits here at this point. I'm not sure what I'm going to put here, but I either may cut part of it out and put a retention pond, or I may put a small industry in there, or if I can, I like to do both. But the climb part of this comes up and will come over this bottom part and will go on to the helix, which isn't constructed yet, but that'll be here in this corner. And the bottom part goes under the bridge and connects back with the main line, back through those 2x4s there. And this is the bypass. And what this allows me to do is stay only on the bottom level should I choose to, or I can flip the switch and go up to helix if I choose to. There's a few more SD40s that I have. One's a Kato, one's an Athearn. Again, they both have Digitrax decoders in them, and they have custom EMD 645 sounds in them. So those are pretty good sounding engines. I'm using the Digitrax Super Empire Builder, which is down here. There's the PR3, and there's just an analog controller which isn't hooked up to anything at the moment. I have everything on switches. This is the command station. This is the PR3. As you can see, that's lit up there and off. This last one is for the analog. Should I want to hook that up. And these three will be for any accessories or lights that I have or would like to do for this layout. As you can see, there's a light in here. That's basically been a dummy light. What happens is after working on a layout or running some engines around, I may take the engines off the track, and when you do that, you don't hear anything when you're used to hearing what you're hearing right now, and I end up leaving the command station on overnight or on all night, and that's not a good thing. So I put a dummy light in there, so when I flip that switch there, the light will turn off as well. This has been kind of neat. I've been primarily using this for testing decoders and testing track and testing locomotives. Right now I have the leads hooked up, but I just moved some track around to the track, but I can take those alligator clips and plug them in anything I like. And I also can take these, and right now they're in the command station. I can move them up to the programmer and do testing with that too, so that's been pretty nice. I've created a work table and a bench. If you've seen some other installs, I've been doing some of my work on this. I plan to put some casters on that and brace the legs a little bit better, so I can take this workbench and I can roll it in or pull it out as needed. I'll probably lower it a little bit so I can get to that switch and outlet still a little bit better. What that allow me to do, be able to roll this in or out, is better service the upper level when it comes up in here. If I gotta get in there and do something or work on something, I'll be able to work on that. Okay, the last thing I have to show today is Alex's dedication card to Big Al Mail, Monster Railroader. It's back here in the layout, which is really, really cool thing. It's been over a year since it's been here last, and it's going around again. Alex has already given me the okay to send it on to Big Al when we're done with it here. So I'll make another video very shortly here with it on the layout. And I have two more layouts here in my area, which is just north of Chicago. That'll go on. And if I can squeeze a few more layouts on there, it'll be great before I send it off. But it's going to go to Big Al after this. And again, it's a really, really cool thing. I'm really excited to have it here and to share it with some of the other YouTubers here in the area. So, like I said, look for that video in a little bit, and we'll see you soon.